Hey everybody, welcome to my booth. I'm Jay, this is Jacob. We're going to listen to their sample in a second. Before we do though, couple things. As always, if you want me to review your audio, there's a form in the description. Send me something. If you'd prefer, there's coaching over my website. If you want to move more quickly through the queue, Jacob here's been waiting for a couple months to get me to review this audio. That's how long the line is. If you want to jump the queue, you can check out the booth buddies down below. And that's it. Thanks for being here. And then the other little caveat, my recording software is being a little funky. So I'm using a different camera to see if it helps with frame rates or whatever. But if I start to stutter, lose frames, that's what's up. Hopefully I'll figure it out. But I wanted to get this out for Jacob and everybody else. So let's dive in.
Grandma said the cookie jar was off limits. But I wasn't born yesterday. I had a plan. Operation Chocolate Chip was in motion. And if I dimmed it just right, I'd be in and out before anyone noticed.
Nice. Pausing before we get to the second half here to just talk about things that I think you're doing really well in this one. Firstly, I think the music you've chosen is fantastic for this. It's like the sort of spy espionage, but it also has that sort of, it's a lighter vibe. It's not like Mission Impossible life or death situation. It's got like a fun little quirky edge to it, which I really like. And I think that all of that kind of supports your performance here, which also supports the story in that it's a youthful thing, cookie jar, stealing cookies from grandma's cookie jar, but we're treating it like a spy mission. And I just think it's all coming together well in that respect.
All it took was 2 chairs, a couple of blankets, and a flashlight. Suddenly, we were explorers, spies, royalty. The living room disappeared, and we were in our own little world. That was the magic of blanket forts.
Yeah, and really great on the second one, too, with all the things that I just said. The music supports it really well. It becomes, fanciful, and you enter sort of a fantasy world with a blanket fort, which is the whole idea. So I think that's nice as well. And your recording sound, it's always kind of challenging with music to give a completely objective report on the audio there. But it sounds good to me. So now let's talk about stuff that we can potentially do to improve upon your performance specifically here. So first things first, in looking at this first one, the cookie jar and our spy mission here. Your performance right now lends itself, as I was saying, to that sort of youthful childhood mischief type thing. And if that's the goal, then I think you're generally on the right track. And the image that comes to mind is I have the Matilda poster in my head where she's standing with her hands on her hips. And I just hear you saying that a lot where there are just some lines that I just see somebody putting their hands on their hips like that.
And if I dimmed it just right,
like that, just right, then I can steal the cookie jar. So all of that, I think, lends itself to that vibe specifically. However, in the interest of exploring your range and variety and the depth of the storytelling here, right now, that sort of hand-on-hips pose with the childlike whimsy or youthful whimsy is the majority of what I get from both of your performances. And it might be different if the second was a completely different direction from the first, but they seem pretty similar in general. So there are a couple things that I think might help you out there. Firstly, as you're going through stuff, right now, everything is in a sort of presentational out there space, kind of like this. And that's what we're looking at. And so we can add or look for places. The way I like to phrase it is taking every opportunity for topographical differences. So instead of looking at just like a giant flat plain with no vegetation, I'm not saying this is your performance to be clear, but instead of looking at just one landscape that's the same, we can have mountains and valleys, and those can mean anything in terms of performances, but like we can introduce a river going through it that then turns into a creek, and then there's a waterfall, whatever it is. But that sort of thing is interesting, and so that's what I mean by topographical interest in terms of a performance like this. So in looking at the grandma cookie jar example, instead of having the entire story, the entire piece be simply this sort of mode, I'm gonna get the cookies, here we are, we can look for moments or take opportunities where things can become small or plotting or maybe go against the grain, and all of those things will add interest to your performance overall. So let's listen through, and I'll give just like potential alternate directions. Now, to be very clear, these suggestions are not going to be the right thing or things that I'm asking you to do. And I'm not saying that your performance is bad or wrong here. These are just ideas that you can take or leave to add or cobble together or explore your own, but just as an example for the variety that we can look for.
Grandma said the cookie jar was off limits.
Grandma said the cookie jar was off limits. So this is something that's happening in your vocal performance that is consistent, and we can look for variety within it. But you have this sort of ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. So this ba.
But I wasn't.
Ba-da.
Ah. Operation Chocolate Chip was in motion.
Ba-ba-ba. And so in terms of the topographical difference thing, if a couple of those is great, but looking for moments where we can depart from that or add different things. So Grandma said the cookie jar was off limits.
But I wasn't born yesterday.
But I wasn't born yesterday.
I had a plan.
I had a plan.
Operation Chocolate Chip was in motion.
Operation Chocolate Chip was in motion. That would be a crazy thing to do if you were a kid, but it would definitely add some topographical interest.
And if I dimmed it just right.
And if I don't know what this word is.
And if I dimmed it.
If I dimmed it. I'm not sure if that's meant to be timed it, but let me know if I'm off the mark. But that's one word where I'm unsure what the word is.
And if I dimmed it just right.
And if I timed it, and that's one where just right, I think, is great. Just right.
I'd be in and out before anyone noticed.
I'd be in and out before anyone noticed, yeah. And that's another one where I see the hands on the hips thing. I'd be in and out, hands on hips. And again, sometimes that's great, sometimes it's not, but just in the interest of looking at more places that you can introduce variety to the performance on the whole, that might be one thing to listen for and look out for if maybe I can do something different here.
All it took was 2 chairs, a couple of blankets, and a flashlight.
So this one, pardon me, this one I think we have a lot of opportunity to turn things on its head, because the beauty of this second spot is we're taking this mundane stuff and then we transform into all these wonderful things. And so if we sort of undersell or make the mundane things mundane, or we just have them be surprising that this is all we had. We had blankets, chairs, and a flashlight, and look at what happens.
Suddenly, we were explorers.
So all I'm saying is rather than have the whole thing have this sort of magical tone to it, all we had was this, this, and this, and then, oh, well, instead of having it be all that, we could start with, it started with just a chair, a blanket, and a flashlight, and then suddenly, and then we can change into something new. We were this thing, we were this thing, and we were this thing. So essentially in the second one, and kind of with the first one, a good tenet to keep in mind with any performance is you want to leave yourself somewhere to go. And I'll leave you with this. This will be my sort of parting thought for you. If you start at, if say the performance meter goes from 1, which is just like doing as little as you possibly can in terms of anything, and 10 is like going as hardcore as you can possibly go, you want to start, or that can be anything. It doesn't have to be that metric that I just demonstrated, but you want to leave yourself somewhere to go, because if I start with like 100% or even 70% wonder in the first part, all we had was a chair, a blanket, and a flashlight. But if I start at that level of wonder, if I start at 70, then I've only got 30% of my wonder meter to go. But if I start at, 25% wonder, or like I have the wonder bottled up or something like that, all we had was a blanket, a chair, and a flashlight. And suddenly, and then my meter can start to raise, we were explorers, we were astronauts, we were pirates. And then you can take it back down again, maybe. Again, not necessarily the right way to do it, but just ideas. Anyway, Jacob, really, really lovely stuff here. I like these two little stories. They suit you well, I think. And for everybody else out there, I hope this was helpful as well. And until the next one of these, be well, everybody. And I'll see you there. Toodles.